worked with the idea of snooping in someone's suitcase, and what the viewer sees is limited by my input. Snooping is, after all, not always satisfying and almost always a bad idea. The inspiration for this work came directly from my experience while living in Paris, and the events recorded here would most certainly never have happened if I had not been in that apartment at that specific time and place. The title, Chance Happenings, is a play on an artistic happening, which is an artwork that grows out of life and relies on a group of people and the environment in which they are placed. It's the sort of work where you go, well, let's see what's going to happen. It's taking a chance that magic will happen. Fortunately, I documented every single day of my 6-month stay in the Cité des Arts, in the middle of Paris. I used the scanned images of my journals and blanked, or rather colored up, everything that does not have meaning in this suitcase, which is how I control what I give away, and it becomes even more obscure as the process evolved. The tale begins with Andre Grunier, I guess which is why his is the first face you see at the top of the left-hand corner. I met Andre soon after moving into apartment 8113. We soon became good friends, and it was only about a month later that he gave me a book that he didn't want to take back to SA with him, but having gotten to know me, he thought I would enjoy it. The book was Just Kids, written by Patti Smith. The name rang a vague bell as a rock musician, and since it was set in New York in the 60s, I gave it a go. Just Kids, the third portrait. I love the way Patti writes. From Just Kids, my next portrait is one of my friend Melinda. I met Melinda in my first year of studying fine arts, and we became fast friends. We were supposed to go teach English in Korea together, but a week before we were supposed to leave, I won Absalon Atelier 2010. So she left without me, and the next time I saw her was when she arrived in Paris, a year later, to stay with me for a month. A month in Paris with one of your best friends is highly recommended. We walked into a record store one afternoon, and what does Melinda see? A stack of CDs on which is written, Patti Smith. Melinda bought the CDs, and we listened to it as soon as we got home. By this time, Melinda was also crazy about Patti. I was with Melinda the first time I met Paul. Paul and I arranged to go to a FIAC one night after he had had his open studio to showcase his astonishing painting capabilities. And so we found ourselves a couple of days later at the Grand Palais, and in the enormity of the Palais, with some of the best art in the whole world around us, I found 2 photographs which transfixed me. Black and white, showing flowers on a table. Paul came to see what I was staring at and said, "Maplethorpe is always good." Before this trip to Paris, I had never heard of these people, and yet here they were once more. Of all the art I saw that day, the work which remains with me is the 2 photographs by Robert Mapplethorpe. Robert, the portrait after Paul. In the Cité, we had a tradition. Every Monday, we had a picnic. On one such evening, I found myself at apartment 8005, the apartment of Sachin and Lola, both from Britain. While we were getting to know each other, Sachin mentioned that he had gone to this really cool gallery in the Murray, and whether I had been there yet. He said there was going to be an opening of a Robert Mapplethorpe exhibition that Friday, a retrospective curated by Sofia Coppola. Well, there was no way I was not going to that. The photographs were beautiful, as I expected after seeing the previous 2. I loved the ones with Patti in the most, especially the one where she is holding up her hair to cut, with the cat at the back. But as I'm standing in the door, I see a woman wearing a long black coat, a camera over her shoulder, and a beanie on her head. She looks at me, and I think, that's Patti. Then I move past her, and she goes into the gallery as I disappear into the Paris night. A chance happening, indeed. The first chapter in the book is called Monday's Children. For me, Monday is the color of light reflecting off of a dark blue Christmas ornament. It is the same color I imagine when I read about Robert Mapplethorpe and his blue star, the symbol for Patti and him. It also happens to be the same color as the number 8, which is why I decided to include 8 portraits